Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Anchor of the Week. My name is Lucas.
And I'm Courtney, and we're an initiative of Hope and Anchor Community Church in London.
Each week, we will discuss different topics relevant to faith and Christianity in today's culture.
We're here to build a space for the church to share our experiences and challenge one another to grow in living like Jesus.
Wow, we're back.
Hello, everyone.
It feels like it was just yesterday when we were doing the podcast again.
I know. We do these weekly, but I feel like right now weeks just go by like
super fast. It's ridiculous. How has it been, your week?
It's been good. Busy with a lot of different ministry work going on, and everything with the church and filming, and but it's been awesome. I like it when the weeks go by fast, obviously, because slow weeks are boring, but it also means you're doing something, you know.
Yeah.
And I know, like, I don't take that for granted. And this season is like, it's hard to be doing stuff when like there's almost nothing to do, you know. So in this time of COVID, I take being busy very as a privilege, I guess.
It's good to feel productive.
Yeah, especially after so long of like it's hard to be productive, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think it's so amazing. Oh, I'm just gonna get spiritual, I guess now.
Oh, please do.
But I think it's just so cool, like how 2020 felt like a certain way in 2021. Even though some people will say like, "Oh, it's just the same." Like you can feel that God is gonna do something.
Yeah.
And it's just so, like, I guess,
motivating.
encouraging.
Encouraging, motivating.
We've been praying for so long, and we have seen the process of what God is doing, but not right now. We just feel like, the rocks are shaking. Something is coming.
Exactly. The ground has been prepared, and let's go for it. So
that's like really good.
Yeah.
And we have, with the church, so many ministries are coming out, and you guys will probably be able to know all about it if you can check on the website or about what we're doing with the homeless stuff right now.
Yeah.
So new.
A lot of different community outreaches, which have been awesome. It's been cold, but it's been awesome.
Yeah. So this is not all we do.
Yes.
We have a lot of other stuff, but
don't be deceived.
Yeah.
We're not just sitting on couches talking all the time.
Yeah. Just check it out. You will see.
Yes.
Yeah.
Should we dive into today's topic?
What do we have? So,
drum roll. Today we're talking about cancel culture, culture, and kingdom culture. Mm-hmm. Yes. It's a lot of alliteration, which is nice.
Maybe some of you guys will or have heard about this culture.
Yeah.
Or cultures. Sorry, plural.
For sure. I think definitely cancel culture is one that's more widely known. Definitely, because I think it's more like something that, especially in 2020, with everything that 2020 like brought up with the social issues, political issues, everything. And I think maybe people feeling kind of trapped inside their homes, like they really wanted to do something. I think that might have something to do with it. But anyway, I really feel like in 2020, cancel culture really took off.
It's an assumption, you said.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But then something that I recently, and we'll talk more about cancel culture first, just kind of like talk through it, because again, most of us know about it. But even within it, there's a lot of differencing of opinions. But something that I came across recently, just a couple of days ago, which really kind of like sparked this whole topic, was I was on Instagram, as I do too many times a day. And I saw someone posted in their story, like, that they don't believe in cancel culture, but they try to walk in call-out culture, and they called somebody out for a comment that they thought was inappropriate, and that person got mad at them, and this whole kind of thing. And of course, I'm not very close to this person, so I don't really, I'm not in it, like with them. But I didn't know that call-out culture was even a thing until literally a couple of days ago. So we did some research.
Me neither, until you told me about it.
Yeah, so I was like, Lucas, we should talk about this.
But it's not something that, even though you haven't heard about it, that doesn't mean like you cannot put the finger on it. Like I can definitely put the finger on it. I can see that this is happening, and it's just so like, I guess I'm already breaking into the topic. It's just so crazy how people feel so entitled for everything in social media.
Yeah.
And this has been popping out so loud in this past like year. But then like, what is cancel culture?
Right.
And
Yeah.
cancel culture is more like the kind of people that they just, I guess I don't want to summarize it all because I'm really good at doing that. And
Lucas is good at the distinct. Yeah.
I'm just like
this is what it is.
Yeah. So it's more like what is it like? You just don't agree with something, and you just definitely just call out and don't want to like have anything to do with the person, or like let's say if we are in social media, you just definitely stop following the person, or you like complain about it and then you leave.
Well, that is one of the things though, right? It's not just one person against one other person. It's the whole idea is to grab like a collective of people to therefore cancel somebody else, right? Not if it was just something as simple as I don't agree with you, so I'm going to unfollow you. What a simple world we would live in, you know? But I think it's this also like this idea of really wanting to do something, really wanting to make a change. So like bringing people against each other. Essentially what it is, it's division. And I'm not saying that this excuses like awful comments or things people have done in the past, right? Because especially with cancel culture, I feel like it's more usually something that's been done that gets brought back up and say, oh, we don't trust you anymore. We don't like you anymore. And this is kind of one of the areas, where I think more people, even if you're not Christian, kind of see an issue with it. Like there's no grace for change in that, right? There's no grace to grow. Because now cancel culture is an entire thing as well, right? Like it's not just cancel culture. Like there's been a whole movement against it, which is very interesting. And I also think it's really interesting that even non-Christians, because of course as Christians we can say, okay, well there's no grace there. You know, there's no room for second chance. God gives us second chances all the time, right? Yeah. But for a non-Christian to also agree with that and not have a full concept of grace, for me, huge red flag, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Completely agree with you. I don't know what to say. Like, I mean, you can, I don't know. It's just like not, we cannot just be like, disagree with somebody and just because of that, or like, or they're not doing the right thing. Yeah. Then just whatever, we're leaving you out.
Yeah.
You're not accepted here.
Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah.
And like that's gonna as well like something that happens a lot on social media, and it happens outside as well, but like because social media is so like big and broad, like,
and a lot of these things come from social media, like a tweet someone tweeted back in like 2012, you know, like,
but like it's like, wow, this person was so good to you, like he taught you, like, I don't know, maybe let's say is a YouTuber and is doing tutorials about certain things, and then the person just messed something up, you know, he didn't get it right on some point. And you just, they just keep talking to you crap, you know, like they don't care about your emotions anymore. And it's like, didn't this person just give so much to you?
I think that is also something as well that we need to take into consideration, that these people that we're trying to cancel, and I say we as in the collective of society, they're people too, you know? Again, not excusing bad behavior,
no.
But, and I think this is a great way to kind of dip now into call-out culture. Because call-out culture saw the issue with cancel culture, and its intent is to provide people with the opportunity to change. Yeah. So the idea, as I'm learning about this, is to be more, instead of saying, hey, you did this wrong, so goodbye forever, like I'm not going to support you anymore, I'm going to try to get everyone else to not support you.
Oh, that's a good word. Like when you're a missionary or whatever, it's like, bye-bye, I don't agree with your choices.
That hit a little close
to home. Culture.
Yes, that's also the thing. Cancel culture is not just in celebrities. And we have to understand that it is seeped into our daily relationships as well. You know, and if we don't have grace with each other's relationships, if I don't have grace with you, if you've messed up and I quote unquote cancel you, okay, I might not say like hashtag canceled, you know, like to my friend if I'm talking about you, but it's that whole idea of no grace, no second chances. You've wronged me or you've done something wrong, so you're done. So interesting point, bringing it up.
Sorry.
Close to home as well. Also, it helps it become more personal, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not just on the internet. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I was talking about call-out culture, was I not?
Yes, you were.
Easily distracted on this topic. I feel strongly. But yeah, so call-out culture is more the look or kind of the aspect of, I'm going to tell you you're wrong in hopes that you'll change for the better. Which in all, I guess, kind of intent is nice, you know, like the idea of it is quite good. However, in practice, I don't think it's much better, you know, because you're basically saying, okay, this is what I think. That's what you said, which I don't agree with. So I'm going to tell you that you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully you'll see that, like, I'm right. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a very, the self-righteousness that we all struggle with is still very much there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been talking a lot. Do you have a thought on this?
I think, well, the thought I have on this is just how crazy it is that we like take our opinion so strongly, you know, how what we think is the right path, you know, it's like the ultimate wisdom, you know, it's like, and like, where did you come from? Like, what the heck? Have you seen your parents? You have seen flaws on them all the time, and they have raised you and all that, and it's like,
and the society and the experiences you've had, everything shapes you.
Yeah, how are you sure that you were raised from those same parents that you saw flaws on correctly? You know, and then we go outside to the world, which we feel like is a total mess. You know, like how is that? Like, how is that correct? You know, how is that right? And it's like you were saying, like council, like the community and call out as well. They both have like the same kind of foundation. It's like, I'm not really willing to hear what you're gonna say or why you decide that.
That's a really good point.
You know, it's just, this is what I think, and you need to change. Yeah. But it's not like, oh, okay, let's just see. Maybe this person did it with the right motives, you know? Like, maybe he didn't really intend to say that correctly. What it meant. Yeah, maybe they don't. Maybe their English is their second language. You never thought of that, right?
Lucas representing English as second language crowd here.
But I don't know. I'm just like, you know, it's just, it's
I think
so
there's a lot
like
of factors, which as well,
which goes with grace that you were talking about.
Yeah, and I think it could work, call out culture, if things were black and white. You know, if it was like, thou shalt not steal. You stole. I'm going to tell you that was wrong. You go, oh crap, you're right. Like, there you go.
Yeah, but we're more complex than that.
We're so more complex. And these are a lot of issues that we're calling people out on that are based more on experience or opinion or on, as you said, like even just society, like what we grew up in. You know, what I grew up in thinking was right might be so different from what you were. And we talked about this before in a previous episode. But even just culturally, Canada and Argentina, living in London, you have so many different spaces for misinterpretation. And so me telling you that you have to act like I act or think like I think if something you said offended me, you know, could also be a miscommunication. Not always, but that's also not necessarily the point of this topic.
No. And I guess what we can say, like, as you were saying, like maybe call out people, call out culture, call out, culture. Yeah, that's what you can, well, that's what we wrote. Like, it seems like more like better, but basically when we see somebody doing this, not doing the right thing, we should guide them to God, not to ourselves. And that's the thing, like maybe like when you're just sharing your wisdom in the comment section, or you know, because you don't have to
the
deal,
comment section.
You know, it's like you don't have to deal with backfire, you know, kind of thing. It's not really that strong, so you feel like you can hide all the strength, you know, of the world, you know, to just say whatever you think. But like sometimes it will, and the world right now is working really hard for those comments in social media to actually give you what do you call it, like some sort of
like a gratification.
no,
Or no?
like if you say something that just because you can say and nobody knows where you live and all that, and nobody can hunt you down.
Traumatic.
Yeah, like kind of thing. You know what I mean? Then you can say whatever and damage somebody's life because it has happened. This is going more dramatic, but this is the reality of this world. Like a lot of the social media side and section has pushed, and even in like I've seen videos of like people encouraging one of the what do you call influencers to suicide.
Yeah.
It's like because they don't agree with something, you know. It's like, and it's just so like messed up.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like when we see something, let's just go back to the nicer side of the topic, whatever.
I feel good.
You know, first, like God, like if God called you to disciple somebody, to like share, and we feel like you're a leader on that person and what they're doing in a ministry or at work or whatever, then you have some sense of responsibility for what's happening with that person.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So when you see that person doing something that's not right, then you go and like, as a friend, as a leader, you go and talk with them and then say like, hey, look, I like you, man, but I feel like this side is not fully right. And
you help. You don't just point something out and hope that someone else will grow. You walk with them.
Yeah, you walk with them and the process
to grow.
Yeah, and
right?
it's not about you anymore.
Yeah,
it's about the person and their lives getting better. Yeah, and like moving on. And like if they're struggling with addiction, you know, it's like I really want you to be your best, you know, and that's the thing. You know, these two cultures have completely lost it.
So now I think this is a great time for us to jump into kingdom culture, right? Because basically we've talked about how whether the intent was there or not, maybe it wasn't even a pure intent. Like these, obviously the cancel culture and call out culture aren't really for lasting change, right?
Yeah.
And of course we believe that Jesus is the only lasting change. But how do we then actively walk in that as Christians? Because I think we are so easily caught up in the cancel / call out cultures because the world is telling us like that is how you become socially responsible, you know, because to an extent that's all people without Jesus, you know, can do. You know, I mean, not really, but like there's always going to be an emptiness with the change that you're making, right? If it's not with Jesus. And so I also like, I really want the Christians that are listening to this to understand, like, you don't have to get sucked into the vortex, you know, or feel like you have to do it because if not, then you're a bad person, you know, but God has asked us to be like of the kingdom culture, you know, and like Romans 12:2, right? Like, do not be conformed like to the patterns of this world or its way of thinking, right? Understanding that what means we're going to like not quite fit in, you know, and kingdom culture doesn't fit into the cancel and call out culture that are going out right now.
No. And whichever other culture comes up.
Whatever other one. We probably missed one. One has probably already happened that we were behind on. And so one way for me, because I was thinking about this, you know, like processing all of this, I was like, well, okay, what is kingdom culture? Like, what would Jesus do? I'm like, oh, that's exactly it. What did Jesus do?
Yeah, he pointed people to God.
Yeah.
Who's the Father.
Yeah.
And he was not like looking for, oh, okay, let's see who I can find so that I can give my opinion.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That would have been a different book, the Bible.
Yeah, that would have been
if that's
really
what
different.
Jesus was like.
It's like he was there.
Yeah.
He was present.
Yeah.
And he was like conversational. That's why we know like he was like, yeah, people wanted to hear the stories that he had, and he was not looking to share his opinion, but people wanted to hear his opinion.
But people asked it.
Yeah.
Because they saw the heart behind it.
Yeah.
You know?
They knew the wisdom came from God.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like when we share, are we sharing what the Holy Spirit is giving to us? Are we sharing like so that the person can see God, or so that they can see ourselves?
Yeah. And we're all susceptible to that 100%, you know, like, but again, it's just that reminding of yourself, okay, like, why am I sharing my opinion, you know, or what in me is like so against what they're saying, you know, because maybe it's even our pride. Maybe they're just saying stuff that we don't like as well to take into consideration. Sorry about that, folks. But something I was thinking about, and I am thinking about, is Jesus, like, he wasn't afraid to call people out. That is true, right? Like, he would tell, like, the Pharisees, whoever, like, hey, like, that's not right, you know? And there were time and places when it was a bit more strong. But the majority of, like, what we read in the Bible is Jesus was, like, at their house having, like, dinner with them, you know, with the tax collectors, with the Pharisees, with the prostitutes. Like, he didn't just walk up to them, like, all high and mighty. He could have. He was God. He is God, you know? He could have been like, hey, what you're doing is wrong. Stop. And then, like, leave. You know? But instead, he was like, hey, like, come here. Like, draw near. I'm going to show you that there is a better way. I'm going to show you that, like, what you have is an incomplete picture, you know, of what your life could be or what life is, you know, or how you could see the world. And that kind of, like, the drawing, like, being close to people, you know, drawing them in, but also not being afraid to speak up when you feel like you should speak up, when God is prompting you to speak up. Because I also think that is something that I think the enemy has really kind of, like, taken away from Christians, or really kind of capitalized on, if you will, is the fear of offending through confrontation. Because, you know, like, especially, I don't know, at least in the Western church, and here, like, in London, I see it a lot, but it's, Christians are nice people because Jesus is nice, so we won't say anything. And it's like, okay, like, I'm sure at one point that was a solid thought, you know, but, like, no, like, God, like, Jesus loves people so much that he can't stand seeing them staying where they are in a place of incompleteness, you know, or brokenness, you know. And Jesus came to bring us life and fullness and wholeness, but not because he loves being right, but because he loves people. And I think that is our key as Christians.
That's what I was just thinking the same.
The takeaway.
It's like God is love, and like, I get it, and we all struggle. Like, it is really difficult to just choose to do the right thing. Let's just be honest. You know, it's just, sometimes maybe it doesn't feel, because in some areas it does feel better to not do the right thing, but in some others it doesn't. It's just easier, I guess, to not do it. And, like, but I get it. Like, you're at work and your boss is being terrible to you, and it's very easy to just not say, like, no, I'm not gonna do those extra hours you asked me to, because you're screwed, you know, kind of thing. But, like, this is just a very vague example. But anyways, but God called us to be like him, you know, right? We want to be like him. That's our core. And, like, we want to be closer to him. And what's closer than to love one another, to want the best for that person. And what are we leaving behind for those person? What are we, like, actually leaving on that other person?
Are we showing an example?
Yes. Are we showing an example? Are we actually planting, this sounds really, like, Christianish, but a seed on the person? Are we bringing life? There you go. Like, to the other person, or are we just, like, pushing them down? Do you want to be alone? That's another question.
No, my answer is no.
But yeah, like, let's just encourage one another. Let's just push ourselves to be loving, and just to actually create a community of kingdom culture. Where you don't necessarily need to call people out, but you confront in love and you hold each other accountable. You know, and I think that is, a really great way to say it. And it's less of having to call people out, but more of holding other people accountable, but also allowing yourself to be held accountable. And I think this is also one of the reasons why maybe call out and cancel culture don't really work, is because a lot of times, if I'm calling you out, I'm not willing to change. You know, and you're always expecting the other person to change. And we need, as Christians, especially now in this whole kind of landscape that we're living, we need, like,
extra outpouring of God's humility in our lives. Because it's so easy, because one, we're in this culture of everyone's wrong, you know?
Yeah.
But when you know the truth, when you know God, like, of course, the closer we get to him, the more humble we become because the more like him we become. But it's also a big temptation for us to become less humble and more proud because we know God. We know what the way, the truth, the life is. You know, so it's really kind of like, let's just like check our hearts. Let's check, you know, the way that we're communicating things. And I am saying this to myself. I know it sounds like I'm some expert right now that like, you know, but it's something that I need to do daily.
Yeah.
You know, am I walking in humility? Because even if I know I'm right,
Yeah.
I am not entitled. I'm not self-righteous. I am made righteous, said that word wrong, through Christ.
Yeah.
Right? Like not my own righteousness, you know?
I was just thinking as well, like in my life, I feel like I'm so arrogant, you know? And it's like, how?
I'm with you.
I'm literally asking myself, like, how do I think I'm right? You know, like, how do I think I know? You know, it's like, so that's why I need so much of him.
Yeah.
And
yeah. And as we walk in that kingdom culture, right? Like people are gonna notice that it's different. You know, hopefully that's the goal, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I hope you guys have learned something from this. We are learning.
Yeah.
We didn't know anything about this topic, but we can tell that the world is shifting and there are things that are popping out, and let's just bring the kingdom of God, this kingdom culture, and invest on people and see this world that we so cherish grow and bring life, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Are those your closing statements, Lucas, or would you like to say something else?
I think people have gotten it.
Okay.
But yeah, if you want to say something.
Yes. You know how I love my closing statements. But yeah, basically I would say too, just like have grace, like understand that grace has been given to you and extend that grace, you know, and just really like ask God to show you people's heart or what's behind, you know, because it's so easy to see people's mistakes. But even I was just like praying today, and I was reminded that God, like as far as the east is from the west, so far he has like removed our transgressions from us, you know, and God like forgives and forgets in that sense. Like he doesn't hold on to that, you know, and we need to be willing to show people that as well, because that is showing the heart of God, you know, but also confronting in love when needed, you know, don't be afraid. But I really hope, that if you've been listening to this, like, and you are a Christian, and maybe you've been like a little bit afraid, because I know sometimes online I'm afraid of all the different call out, cancel, whatever cultures going against each other.
Would I make a difference?
Would I make a difference? Yeah, but just to hold steadfast, and as we said, be humble, like ask God for wisdom, and like know that like real lasting change doesn't come from a comment, but it comes from a transformed heart.
Yeah.
So just to encourage people.
Stay strong. Yeah, well, thank you so much, guys, for listening to our podcast. Don't be call out culture with this podcast. But
exactly. Don't use this against the topic.
But if you feel like there's somebody that will be will help them to listen to the podcast, please share it. Give it a like. Share. If you have any comments or about this, anything that you have learned about it,
or anything you want to add as well, we would love to open the conversation.
Yeah, as well. And please let us know if this is something that you guys think that needs to be talked about, or you would like to hear more about. Just let us know. We're here.
As always, it's good to spend this time with you guys, and we will see you real soon.
Yeah, see you next time. Thanks for joining us for today's episode of The Anchor of the Week.
Make sure you follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube so you never miss an episode.
See you next time.